Hey everybody, NecroVMX here, and this is not a Potatocast, but I did want to give you guys a little update and talk about my plans for the new year, which is 2016. Now, if you have listened to Potatocast, you probably know a little bit about what's going on in my life and what has been going on in my life, and how 2015 just sucked big, fat, floppy donkey dick. And that's true, and a lot of people have reached out to me, people I know, complete ass fucking strangers, and they've told me similar stories, similar trends of just 2015 sucks. So I think that I speak for not only myself and some of my friends, but a lot of you out there as well, in saying, fuck 2015, bring 2016 closer. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my plans, because I've been thinking about how shit this year has been. And I just wanted to go into the new year with a little positive energy and a little bit of optimism and enthusiasm. I realize I'm not at all a superstitious person. The calendar is actually fairly meaningless when you think about it, just because it ticks over from, December 31st to January 1st doesn't mean that things are going to change. It doesn't mean that my luck is going to improve. It doesn't mean that things are going to get better overall. But it is a passage of time, and it is how we record, our thoughts and everything, and we do break everything down by years, So I'm kind of trying to say, let's think positive, and let's go into the new year with a little bit of positivity and some plans for things. Some of it is just stuff for myself, and I'm not going to be talking about that, but some of it is for the channel, and I do want to talk about my plans for 2016 having to do with the channel. And a little bit, of my own stuff, because it relates to the channel. And I'm going to be trying to grow the channel, and I haven't really made an attempt to actively grow the channel, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't give a shit about views. I don't give a shit about how many subscribers I have. I give a shit about the people who are subscribed, because they took the time to do that, especially if you take the time to leave a comment every once in a while, or if you come to one of my streams and we talk and hang out, and I've been doing that more lately, doing those one-off streams in the middle of the night, and people come, and it's always fun. Even if it's a dozen people, or if it's 2 people, I have a good time, they have a good time. It's pretty cool. The reason I want to grow the channel is not at all because of money, or anything like that, because that's been in a steady decline across the board for a long time. I actually had a really good year in 2013 on YouTube for making money. I made a lot of money in 2013. But ever since then, 2014, 2015, really hardly anything. So I was like, you know what? Who cares, right? Just think about it as a hobby that you sometimes get a check for, and just have fun with it. Because that's how I started. I did this channel for a couple of years before I saw any kind of monetary compensation for it. And who one of my favorite celebrities is? Conan O'Brien. And he once said that if he had to do his show in a 7-Eleven parking lot to an audience that consisted of just his parents, he would still do it, I mean, he'd like to be on television. He'd like to continue to do his show. Right now it's on TBS and reach, millions of people. But, he's doing it for the love of it. And I read something interesting about the origins of certain words, and one of the words was amateur. And usually when people call someone an amateur, it's kind of in an insulting, derogatory sense. It's definitely used in a negative or pejorative sense. But it used to be the opposite of that. It used to be a positive thing, because a professional was someone who did the job because it was their job, or for the money. It was almost like a mercenary thing. Whereas an amateur was somebody who did that just for the love of it, just because they enjoy doing it, And I may get, a little bit of ad revenue, and I do mean a little bit of ad revenue from the channel, but I still see myself as an amateur, because even if I lost partnership for some reason, and I wasn't ever going to get paid again, I would still do it pretty much the way I'm doing it. But I want to grow the channel because I want to give some back. I want to expand, and I want to think about what works and what doesn't work. Now, one change that I made around the summertime, actually it was late spring, I think, was I stopped doing like the request random videos, and I started doing just Let's Plays. And I won't lie to you, views went down, there's some subscribers that were lost. and I'm not going to reverse my decision on that because it was the right thing to do for me, and the people who are sticking around. If I'm not having any fun doing it, I mean, honestly, and I'm going to be honest with you, if you guys look at like some of the videos from years ago, and then compare it to like the last few request videos that I was doing, you know, those later videos, they just sucked, man. And you know what? My humor hasn't changed. If I'm playing the same game for a couple of weeks versus playing some random piece of crap license game on the Game Boy Color, I'm saying a lot of the same shit, and I've urged people, especially on Potatocast, to come by and look. But I want to do some more new things. One thing that I want to expand on is streaming. Everybody loves the streams. The people that come by, they talk about it. You know, they always go, that night was legendary, that was awesome. I mean, sometimes when I announce a stream, like I have one coming up on the 1st, I get people telling me things that they switch their schedules at work, or, you know, they bought food specifically for that night, they're preparing for it. So people do see it as events, and that is so cool. And I'm definitely going to be doing more live streams. Some of them will be announced streams. Some of them are just going to be, you know what, I'm home, it's the middle of the night, I'm going to just throw it out on Twitter. So just keep an eye on that. You never know, you might catch me at 4 a.m. playing Binding of Isaac. So that's the thing. I do want to stream more, and I'm going to continue to stream more. Now, however, I was thinking about what I can play, and what I can stream, and what I can let's play, and what it comes down to is sometimes the options are kind of limited. So I wanted to talk about a couple of changes and a couple of purchases that I'm going to be making in 2016 to help out with this. The first thing I want to talk about is, back in November, and when I say it, it sounds like that was a long time ago. It was literally just a couple of weeks ago. I bought, as I do every November, I bought the new Call of Duty game, which this year was Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And one thing that I thought would be fun on the night that I had it, it wasn't the night of launch, but it was the first night that I had off and I had time to play it and I had it installed and everything. I decided to, maybe I'll try to live stream and play a little story mode and, have a little live stream. And then, a couple of people showed up, but it was a disaster. I couldn't get it running smoothly, and I couldn't get it streaming right there. And even after the point, the launch of Black Ops 3 was a little messy, so I realized that some of it had to do with that. And now the game runs like butter. And I love it, by the way. It's one of the best games of the year. Not the best game of the year, but one of the best games of the year. But I wanted to say that, I was thinking, oh man, it sucked that I couldn't stream it. And it got me thinking, one thing that I had to do with Black Ops 3 that I had to do in a very, very long time is I had to not play it on the highest graphics settings. And then I started thinking, it might be time to think about a new computer. And I was thinking about, having a little fun, like having a little shoebox. I'd drop a 20 in every once in a while and have like a little fun like that. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. It's the end of the year. And after the end of the year, I'm going to do my taxes. And I know I'm going to get a refund because I know what I'm doing. And I should have enough money for my tax return to get myself a nice new gaming rig. It's been about 4 years that I've had this one. Actually, no. It's been about 3 years, actually, now that I think. It's been 3 years since I've had this one. And 3 years doesn't seem like a long time to have a computer, especially when you buy a high-end gaming PC like I did. But if I can afford it, and I have a tax check coming and nothing in particular that I need to spend it on, why not? So I'm going to be getting a new computer. Another thing that I'm going to be doing is at one point I'm going to invest in a couple of other things. One thing that I want to get is a small television. Now I have a television. I have a small television actually, but it's actually too big for my purposes. It's a small living room set, but I want to get a small computer about the size of a small television about the size of a computer monitor, and I want to set it up next to my computer monitor. And then what I would do is I could hook consoles up to it, and I can stream console games. I have a capture card for standard definition consoles. I need one with HDMI. I'll probably get like an Elgato or something. So that's two purchases I want to make. I want to get a tiny little television about the size, a little tiny HD TV about the size of a computer monitor, and get it on my desk next to my monitor, and get an Elgato, and that way I could not only let's play console games, I could stream console games, especially if I have a new computer. Now, all this shit is not going to happen all at once. I mean, first I got to get all my tax info from my from both my jobs and from Google, which is not going to be a whole lot of information from them. And then I have to actually file the taxes and wait for the return to come in. But the first thing's going to be the computer. And then I'm going to start buying a few other things just so I can do more, and I'm not as restricted as I was, and maybe I'll be able to stream higher-end games. So if I want to say, hey, I am going to stream Black Ops 3, or whatever. We got some great games coming out in 2016 for PC. We got Doom and Dishonored 2 and, shit like that. So that would be great. So those are some of my plans for 2016 for myself that relates to the channel. Also, like I said, I'm going to be continuing with the Let's Play format. It's going to be continuing with the format of having an RPG Let's Play going and a non-RPG Let's Play going at the same time. And, I got lots of great games. One feature that I'm probably going to be ending is Civilization Saturday. The reason is because, it's not because I'm bored with it. I love Civilization and I love playing it. It's because I want to do a new weekly feature, and I don't want to do 2 weekly features that are like an hour long like that, because what I want to do is, I want to make The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth into a weekly feature, and at the last little stream that I did, not the last one actually, the one before that, I had a bunch of people in there, and I talked about it. I said, would you guys like to see something like Civilization Saturday, but with Binding of Isaac, starting from a fresh save, and just sort of going week to week? And everybody's response was yes. A few people said hell yes, which is like double yes. And double yes is not like a double negative. It's just more yes. So I'm probably going to be, ending Civilization Saturday and making it Binding of Isaac. Kind of like clever name for it. But that's one thing one change that I'm going to be making. Potatocast is still going to go. Some of the older features back. Gamers Encyclopedia is one that I would absolutely love to bring back, but is so time consuming that it's kind of difficult. I'm not writing, but I'm saying it's not something that I see happening anytime soon. However, I was thinking about 10 Facts, which was a fun little series I did, and I did kind of put myself into a corner by putting season 1 on it, just like I did with Gamers Encyclopedia, but I think I might do another season of that. I had some good ideas for games and for facts and stuff like that, or I might expand it beyond just video games. We'll see how it goes. People like trivia, especially obscure trivia, and I love talking about trivia, especially obscure trivia, and I love giving it to people. I love receiving obscure trivia from people. That's just something that I've always found to be fun. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up. I didn't mean to do like a 13.5-minute thing here, but I did want to let you know what some of my plans are for 2016. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want to know about the computer that I'm planning to buy, I'm actually planning on buying essentially the same computer that I have. 3 years ago, I bought an Alienware X51. I think the 51 is like a cute little pun. I don't think it means anything. I think it's just a cute little pun for Area 51, Alienware. But anyway, I loved it, but it's time to upgrade, I think. And if I have the money and if I can get it, why not get it, right? They have the X51 R3, which is the 3rd generation of it, and it has a lot of upgrades. It has a lot more hard drive space. That's one thing that I've been kind of struggling with. It has, a huge amount of speed and RAM. Well, the RAM is about the same. I'm actually probably will upgrade it. I have 8 gigs of RAM. The R3 comes standard with 8 gigs of RAM. I'm almost certainly going to say no. I'll pay the extra for 16 gigs of RAM. Comes with a GTX 900 series. I think the 980 is pretty standard. I have the 660, and that's fucking great, so I can only imagine how good the 980 is. And it has liquid cooling. It has 8-core processor. Mine's quad-core, so there's some upgrades. And the price is pretty good. They start at like $700. When I bought the X51 3 years ago, it was about $1,100. after all is said and done. I'll probably spend less than that actually, but I'll use like the leftover maybe to get another monitor or put it towards the television and capture card thing that I have planned, and move my Xbox 360 that I haven't touched in months, from the living room that I only use for walking through, and here into the gaming area where I'm always here, always working, always playing games, always talking to you guys and doing stuff. Bring it over here, set it up on my desk. I'll have to clean some of the stuff off of it, but that won't take too long. And set it up with the Elgato, and then I can play Xbox 360 games. And maybe I'll spend $80. I think they cost $80 and get a PS3 and a couple of games for that, or see. Because there were consoles that I want. I want a PlayStation 4. I want a Wii U. But I'm like, I don't. The reason I haven't gotten these, and I'm planning on buying a computer instead, is because I don't see myself sitting in the couch anymore playing video games. I'm disconnected. I'm always looking at my phone or something. I'm always like wondering what's going on online. But I can play games here on Steam and not worry about that. And if I have a second, monitor, so to speak, which would be a television, a tiny television, I could play games there and be connected, and I could also record shit. So that's something that's going to happen. But, let me let you guys go, because now we're at 16 and a half minutes, and that's too long for an update. Those are my plans for 2016. And you know what? Let me know what some of your plans are for 2016. I do want to know. Tell me what's going on. Except for you, Moogle Master, you creepy fuck. I swear. You tell me things that I don't want to know. You know what? Tell me anything that doesn't have to do with being a furry, and I'm cool. Alright? See you guys.